Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful, lovely, succulent, majestical, beautiful, lovely, cosmic, radiant, tasty, orgasmic, beautiful, lovely, iridescent golden ray, beacons of light, glowing it up. We are actually vibrating so high with the highest fortitaciousness. With the highest fortitaciousness. With the highest fortitaciousness. We are really happy. Super psyched up. Super third eye blossoms. We are super charmed, super happy, super glowy, super radiant, super vital, vitality. We are literally so high, it's impossible. We are the highest vibe ever achievable, vitality oozing, radiating, emanating from the star spices, hitting you with that lovely, beautiful ray, tranquility, serenity, literally healing energy, the balm, getting you to that survivation, to the thrivation and beyond. We are tribe. We are extra lovely, juicy, buoyant, tight. We are definitely lifted and gifted. We are levitationals. We have orbs of delight for you to collect on your journey. Orbs of knowledge, orbs of wisdom, orbs of the yummy yum yum. We are definitely gods, goddesses. We are definitely lovely and happy. This is the Vibe Guide. One on one. You on you. Yes, it is. We are super stoked. We are super excited. We have so many awesome things to talk about today. We are feeling so happy. Today we're going to touch on some very interesting things for those of you who want that specific discernment in the intellectual technology. This technology does help us fortify compartmentalization as well as connection to all thoughts. Synaptic connectivity to the everdom is actually important. Thoughts and beliefs are not just thoughts and beliefs, they are functional technology. They actually create activations, unlock activations. They are permission slips. They are actually the segue into the new beingness. Thoughts are actually thoughts are actually living technology. thoughts are actually living cosmic tech. Using technology is the only way to discern technology. When you use technology, you understand what technology does. We are helping you understand your living tech. We are going to help you understand and help you ascend so you can connect the dots. So if you see an updraft, if you sense a surge of energy, if you sense a dimensional rift, if you feel that you are going somewhere new, if your intuition, if your reticular spiritual device, because there's more than one and they function almost the same, if your reticular device is leading you to a place that is higher, more enlightened, take it. The orbs are for all who need and desire. We love you. Are you feeling that energy? The love, the radiant, actual, succulent, delicious light of intelligence. We are sharing these codes, these modes. It is actually our favorite thing to do. See, we are actually really happy. All right. Today we're going to transmit these concepts because it's important, especially as you move up in frequency and you change your journey. This is the grand archetype. This is the grand RPG. Understanding the differences in etymology, in terminology, creates a difference in inner knowing and belief, which alters your destiny, which alters your path, which alters openings, which alters connectivity, activates. Activations are on or off. We have to clarify so we can better understand who we are. By understanding who we are, we can understand where, by understanding who we are, we better understand where we are going. And it gets better and better and easier and easier. Today, we're going to be discerning and deconstructing the concepts that are coincidence, serendipity, and synchronicity. The reason that it's important to discern and understand the difference between coincidence, serendipity, and synchronicity is so that you can go on the path that you actually desire to, and so that you can actually synchronize, so you can actually go with and align with the energy that is actually most attuned to who you actually are. When we move and we don't go with the syncing that we actually are, we don't feel good. Our immunity gets fucked up. We get lost. Is there a right or wrong answer in the universe? Well, the answer is it subjective? Some of it is, right? Some of it is. Is it subjective though? The answer to that is also more like a yes. The answer in the universe is almost always a yes. In fact, I would say it always is a yes. It's more like what kind of yes? It can be a yes right now. It could be a yes later. It could be a yes that's in the distance, a yes that might be so far away that you would wind up saying no before you got there, because it's a yes that takes some time to understand. It just depends. That's what your technology is for. Intuition is technology. Clarity enhances intuition. Without the proper data, the intuition does fail. However, the intuition also purifies. It's a clever thing, isn't it? It's very interesting how the intuition actually works. Using your intuition purifies and tonifies, actually strengthens your intuition. Did you know that strength is technology? Strength of the intuition. You're like, how can the intuition have strength? Well, there's magnetism. There's the ability to focus. Focus can be described as a strength. Focusing is strength. Focusing is will. All of these things are connected, and yet you can see how they're all very what? Feeling based. And how there's overlap and overlay. Very interesting. That's why we must separate the planes so that we can see them, so that we can sense them more so. More holistically. On all sense bases. On all sense bases. Okay. So first we're going to start with coincidence. Coincidence isn't really that challenging to understand. It's the first one that most people actually learn when they're kids, because all your friends are talking about it. Pretty much anywhere on the planet, everyone learned coincidence. Coincidence is that moment of surprise most of the time, or something shows up in your life. Most of the time it's a person, and you see them in a place you didn't expect that you would see them, or you see them again. That's more like a coincidence. It's something that happens that was unlikely to happen. Coincidence. Something that should happen that's unlikely to happen. But there's something there happening in a coincidence. You're like, that's a coincidence, that's crazy. That was a coincidence. Remember someone saying something like that? It's like, what a coincidence. Now let's move up to what I consider to be moving up. Serendipity. Serendipity is different from coincidence. Why is that? It's because serendipity is essentially a coincidence, but it's going to be something specifically good happening. And most of the time, as it's been depicted, it normally has something to do with love or romance or something like that. But serendipity would be the one that you would prefer, as opposed to coincidence, probably. If you were smart, likely anyone would go with serendipity. Why? Because it's the one where a good thing happens. Serendipity is separate from coincidence in that it's definitely a good thing happening. It's a happy thing happening. You're going to be happy after it occurs. It's going to be something you wanted to happen. And I know there is a person who wants the weird thing to be out there. So I'm going to say it. They want to pretend like they wanted to mean it to happen. That's not serendipity. Serendipity is something that you did not expect. That has to be defined. If you expected it to happen, that wouldn't be serendipity. You can't pretend that you were serendipitous. You have to genuinely feel the feeling of a serendipity. What is that? Genuine joy. You cannot feint the joy. You cannot trick the joy. You cannot trick your own joy. That's not serendipity. That's you fainting. Serendipity, which I know people like to play with their mind. I don't, this isn't about that. This isn't about preference over how something should be experienced. It's just about facts. It's just about the way it actually is. Everyone's going to bifurcate, trifurcate, and so on. It's your path. Okay, next up. It's your big day. We are plussing up the radiance. Tribe, it's been such a beautiful day. We are loving you. It is a wonderful, 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 lovely, succulent day. We love you. Enjoy these times. There are many to come. Many lovely moments. Happy. Next we have Synchronicity. Now, synchronicity is actually extremely different from coincidence and serendipity. Synchronicity is experienced due to an alignment with the universe. Synchronicity is experienced due to an alignment with the cosmos, with source energy. Depends on like what tune you're on, but these are very similar frequencies. It's fair to say that they're both fair. And it could very well have something to do with a connection to the angelic realms. Angelic communication. Synchronicity is going to be one of these three things. What's similar between synchronicity and serendipity? Synchronicity is overtly going to be something positive. It's definitely going to be something positive. But in my most recent experiences, we can talk about that on a later date, because this is definitely for the functional and happy. Synchronicity is definitely in alignment with the universe. And in my personal experience, we have to speak about this because it's important that we speak about it because we need to connect. This is what makes Your Big Day very rare. This is what makes information more impactful and more useful. Synchronicity can be sensed on a level. Coincidence, you're not going to sense a coincidence happening. It's just going to happen. Serendipity, you're not going to sense serendipity happening. It's just going to happen. Synchronicity, I can attest that synchronicity, there's something about it. You're going to feel like you're being included. You're going to feel like it's sign-based communication between you, source / universe / angelic realms. And you don't have to have all the words within the slashes. Either one of them, all of them would be fine. But it's going to be a sign-based communication. And synchronicity, the difference between it is that there's going to be a chain of communication depending on how connected you are and your journey. It could be one communication in multiple years. Multiple years. It could. It depends on how you relate to these things. But for those of you who are taking a path that is like with the universe or with source, and you decided to be one with it and you align with it and you are guided by it because you enjoy communicating with it and you become a journey person, since full of wanderlust, an adventurer, a leveled up being, super conscious, connected, you're going to experience a lot of synchronicities. Generally speaking, coincidence, you're not going to experience more than one in a day. You're not. You're pretty much not. It could happen. but unlikely. You wouldn't experience many coincidences in your life. And if you did, you probably figure it out. It's like, well, I live right there, Diane lives over there, the city's this small, the odds of everyone running into each other are pretty high. Serendipity. Serendipity, it really just depends. Serendipity, most of the time it has something to do with romance, and it's definitely going to be a happy result. This one it has to be happy, or it isn't serendipity. But it doesn't really require a whole lot of, it's not going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. Notice how serendipity has serene in the word. Serene is in serendipity. So let's defragment, let's fragment these actual similar yet very different, even quantum dimensional plane of existence. These things exist on a different plane of experience. Coincidence, lower plane, definitely, but high plane, because what is the lower plane? Why? I wouldn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I would consider coincidence to be low plane. Serendipity, because of the fact that there's romance and it's going to be a happy result, if we're doing the science here, we would see that that's something more like, that's high energy. Happiness is high energy. Love is high energy. Romance is high energy. And it's exciting. So that's high energy. Synchronicity. It depends on the level of activity that you have with the universe and what your purpose is. Some people are going to peruse the universe. Some people are going to just sample the universe, source, in the angelic realms. Same thing with coincidence and serendipity. Same thing with coincidence and serendipity. And some people will also have to go through a moment, like a loop, where they have to purify, because you can start seeing synchronicity in signs in everything, and it's because of your reticular device. Your reticular device is going to start looking for these things over time as you are training, even if you aren't aware that you're training. Your reticular device, just like when you get a car, you start seeing that car. Same thing with all that sort of happening. That's your reticular device doing that. You will find out that you aren't having any signs. You will go through this loop, this period of purification, because your reticular device it's a good thing. Your reticular device is finding it. Likely you will find out that it's an actual level of evolution. If you're practicing manifestation, if you are attuned with the universe, source, Gaia, the cosmos, angelic realms, whichever one you love participating with, or all of it, whatever you're connected with, it's likely that you are manifesting. Especially if you've been practicing manifestation, there's nothing left for you to look for a sign for until it's time for you to do it again. It's time for you. That's a sign that you should be manifesting if you want to. People who manifest, beings who manifest, are creators. Creators create synchronicity, and you will get feedback from the universe as in synchronicity that you are creating. It will be the flow leading you toward an end result. And you might find that some people hate this if they can notice it, and you can transcend that too. And it's because beings start getting mad, because there isn't going to be an actual symbolic trick or whatever. This isn't magic, but all of these things, they overlap in an area because the lines become blurred. Why? Because they're all coming from the same plane. They're all coming from the same dimension in a way as far as the experience is concerned. Magic and synchronicity, yoga, energy mastery, chi, the Tao, Kemetan technology, all the way down to over there, and over there, and over there, and over there. All of it's connected to these things. They're all wiring in their own connections, and they're all seeking their own information, and they're all bringing it down in a different way. Some of them are actually better. Some of them are way easier to understand. And some of them stopped doing it. Some of them didn't really, it kind of stopped. The craft kind of stopped, and only those who wanted to pick it up because they were interested kept going with it. In the modern world, you can see this if you've actually ventured out there and saw it. But anyway, synchronicity is definitely the most hardcore, depending on how you are involved. And that's because you can experience multiple synchronicities daily. In even a moment, synchronicities is sign-based communication from the universe. Synchronicity is sign-based communication from source, from the angelic realms. But synchronicity is different to coincidence and serendipity in another way too. Coincidence and serendipity do not require any activity or action on your behalf. The next chapter simply unfolds quite normally. The flow just automatically begins the next moment just starts. When it comes to sign-based communication, you will have to make a decision. That's why there's a lot more going on. It's the seeker, the active mystic, the elf, the indigo, the actual earth angel, the starseed, the crystal baby, earth babe. Whatever you resonate at, that is of that level. This is a multi-level, same level. If you feel some resonance with energetic universe science, and you use it, and you practice often, most people don't. We're talking about less than 1% of the population, but that's still a lot of beings. And everyone does it a little bit differently. And some people do it similarly. And I think there's a lot of people that do it on a level some similarly. There are magicians out there, but practical, like functional magicians. And then there's beings that go beyond magician. There's no illusions. They have an actual lifestyle that's real. They're not playing with boxes and wood, and they're not playing with particular things. It's none of it's playing. None of it's no one has time to fool around. It's real. And they have to live it. They can't get away from it. They have to actually live it. They cannot get out of it. Because to get out of it is to log out of it. Logging out is logging out. Being offline is being offline. You can be online with the universe and you can be offline. Some people don't want to know that. Those of you who consciously go online with the universe, you have to understand you are different than people who want life to do it for them. That's a different intention. Intention is different technology, because intention actually affects the environment. It affects the universe because that's an agreement. Agreements do what? Agreements are technology. This is a Yo Big Day first and a Yo Big Day anywhere. The little details that you only heard here. You got your crystals. You definitely got your golden nuggies. Understand, synchronicity is far more involved, but it doesn't have to be. You could experience one synchronicity and you could log out for the rest of your life. But for those of you who take a path, you will see that only synchronicity has that much depth to it. These are the mysterious differences between coincidence, serendipity, and synchronicity. Different planes of existence. What's the common thread here? It's that unknown aspect. It's sort of just showing up and not really understanding why. Like how? Why? But when you think of the whole of your life, you would understand that's life itself. That's existence itself. Why do you breathe? Why are you alive? Why do you see, hear, smell, speak, taste, touch, and more? Why any of it? It's time for you to ascend. It's time for you to learn. It's time to make Gaia a little bit more interesting. This stuff is already here. It's just that some of us masters, gods, some of us we're just higher level. And so we explain it in a way that's easier to understand, but without life experience, it won't really do you any good because you're not activating your technology. If you don't activate your technology, then you're offline. If you're offline, can you be online? Well, you could subconsciously be online. A part of you can be going, well, I don't want to participate, but there's a small percentage of you could be described as being desiring it. And you might get a little drip somewhere in your life. Maybe you'll play things that remind you of these things. And you'll see symbols and stuff like that, or whatever. It's all connected. Everything is energy, and that's why it's such a vast, beautiful universe, and that's why there's so much variety and diversity of how it can all be expressed. Enjoy the grand archetype, the grand RPG. We out here floating on a cloud of gratitude. We love you. Plussing up the radiance again.